Judge, I've unmuted my screen here.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm attempting to admit Miss Miles. We'll hear her case first. There she is. Good morning, Miss Miles. How are you today? Can you hear me okay? I can see you. I just can't hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can't hear you. It sounds like your audio may not be hooked up, okay? All right. What we may do is we may give her an opportunity to fix her audio. I have another individual in the waiting room, so I may put Miss Miles. I'm going to put you back in the waiting room just to see if we can get your audio working. But we will be back to you, okay? All right, this is Jessica Langford. So it'll be 1681. Mr. Wilson, is this a common occurrence with your experience with Zoom?
There's always some little glitch there sometimes, Judge. So
Okay.
Don't take it personal.
I'm going to try not to. Thank y'all for y'all's patience.
No problem.
All right, let's get Miss Langford in here. Miss Langford, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you can hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not showing that I have a video of you, but I do have audio, okay?
Okay.
All right. Is there any way that you can put it to video, or is that not an option?
No, my screen on my phone is busted.
Okay. All right. Okay, we will call can you see us, Miss Langford?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So at least you can see who's all here. Okay. We will call case number LT 2021-1681. So Wichita Falls Housing Authority versus Jessica Langford. Here present today, I do have the plaintiff and the defendant. So if the plaintiff, Housing Authority, we'll let y'all start first. Go right ahead. I'm sorry. First, let me get everybody sworn in. I apologize. Jessica, if you'll raise your right hand, and everybody else is too. So if you promise to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
I do.
All right. Thank you. All right, Mr. Wilson, you may go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. My first witness is Donna Lewis.
Okay, Miss Lewis, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Miss Lewis. You've been sworn in, so Mr. Wilson, you may proceed.
Donna, would you tell us your occupation?
I work in the occupancy department. I do the move-ins, move-outs, research, interims, annuals, several different programs.
All right. So you're familiar with the leases for almost every tenant there at the Housing Authority, correct?
Correct.
All right. I have provided the court a dwelling lease that purports to be the lease of a Jessica Langford. that is 13 pages. Are you familiar with that lease?
Yes,
As a matter of fact, I think you faxed that to me back in January of this year. Is that correct?
correct.
All right. And this is a non-compliance eviction. Is that correct?
Correct.
And in particular, the lease under section 7, which would be on page 4, Your Honor, deals with re-examination of rent, apartment size, and eligibility for continued occupancy. Is that correct, Ms. Lewis, Ms. Piper? Excuse me, Ms. Lewis?
Sure. Yes.
All right, so in that respect, did you send Ms. Jessica Langford a notice letter? And this would be plaintiff's exhibit number 2. There's a series of letters there. I'm going to start with the one dated October 16th, 2020. Did you send a letter to Ms. Langford notifying her that she needed to bring you information?
Yes, it was her yearly recertification, which I did we completed that in September the 28th of 2020. At that point, she stated that it asked what her income is. She stated she donated plasma. She was required to bring me in plasma letters because that's considered income, and she was supposed to bring them in, and I didn't hear from her. So on October the 16th, I sent her a letter requesting for 3 months printout.
Okay, so did she show up with that information on the date of October 30th that you requested?
No.
After that, what did you do?
I sent her a second letter, November the 5th, asking her to bring me in the August, September, and October check stubs. I told her I needed those by Monday, November the 9th, and I put do not ignore this notice, or the next notice is an eviction for November the 30th. I did not hear from her.
You did not hear from her on that after you sent her that letter?
No.
Okay, so did you prepare and send a letter on November the 10th to Ms. Langford?
Yes, we served an eviction for failure to provide income information.
All right. That would be the eviction notice you gave her on November the 10th, as well as a notice to vacate. That would be the same date, I guess.
Correct.
And the confidential delivery certification indicates that she was home, and this is at 205C East Lincoln.
Yes.
She was home when they delivered this and she signed for it. Is that what your records show?
I show that somebody signed for it.
Okay, we can't really read
I
the.
can't read the handwriting to tell exactly whose signature it is.
All right, and the eviction letter was also sent to her in person and first class mail that same day. Is that correct?
Correct.
So we're proceeding here this morning under section 7, which is on page 4 of the lease, subsection 4, which says resident will furnish upon request such information and certifications as may be necessary for management to make a determination with respect to rent, eligibility, and appropriateness of apartment size in accordance with the current occupancy policy. Is that what we're proceeding on?
Yes.
As well as number 6 under that same section, residents' failure to attend re-examination on the designated date and time shall be considered a serious violation of this lease and grounds for termination of this lease. Is that what it says?
Yes.
All right. So after you gave her that notice, she never came in and talked to you and gave you the information you needed to recertify her eligibility for occupancy. Is that correct?
Correct. I did not hear her. The lease ended. I have not heard from her until she called on February the 23rd. I was trying to explain to her the reason for her eviction, her failing to provide me the information. She started cussing. I told her, have a nice day, and I hung up.
Okay. These are federal requirements that you have to go by to do this annual recertification for eligibility. Is that correct?
Correct.
If they don't show up in time, their lease ends. that right?
Correct.
But we still have to proceed with an eviction case for them. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Is there anything else that I've not talked to the judge about on this case that I need to, that you can think of?
No, just other than her, I didn't get to finish the recertification due to the fact that she would not respond or provide me the information I needed. So her lease ended.
Very good. No additional questions of this witness, Your Honor. I pass the witness.
Okay. Ms. Langford, do you have any questions that you would like to ask?
My only thing is, I did call her multiple times, but she was never in office.
Okay, but do you have any questions in regards to for this witness? I mean, I understand that you're telling me, and that's probably something that you could tell me at a for your closing argument, that what you attempted and tried to do. But if you have any questions for her, now would be the time to ask her those questions.
No, sir, I don't believe so.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, ma'am. All right, Mr. Wilson, do you have anything else you would like to offer?
I do. Yes, Your Honor. I'm calling myself as a witness for attorney's fees.
Yes, sir.
And the court previously swore me in this case. My name is Reginald Wilson. I'm an attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Texas since October 31st, 1981. I've been practicing law in Wichita County since January of 1989. I'm familiar with the fees that attorneys charge in Wichita County for these type cases. I have a contract with the Housing Authority to represent them on non-compliance lease at the justice of the peace level of $125 per hour. I would submit that that's a reasonable fee in light of what other practitioners in this community charge, and certainly necessary to protect the rights of the plaintiff. By the time the court renders judgment in this case, I'll have 1.5 hours, and that would be $187.50 in attorney's fees. I pass the witness.
Okay. Ms. Langford, do you have any questions that you would like to ask Mr. Wilson?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay.
The plaintiff rests, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Langford, now's your opportunity if you would like to call any witnesses or state anything that you would like the court to know on your behalf.
Well, besides, I tried multiple times to get a hold of her.
Okay.
I don't have anybody with me at the moment that would be able to like be a witness of that. And I think I'd like to appeal. One of them was telling me.
I'm sorry, one more time.
I was wondering more about the appeals, like appeal this because I'm trying to get an attorney for this so I don't lose home, basically.
Okay. So as far as the appeal process, how that works is after I make a judgment, if you do not agree with that judgment, you have 5 days to appeal the decision of the court.
Okay.
I do have one question, Mr. Wilson. In the testimony that you asked your witness, you stated that y'all were going off numbers 4 and 6 in regards to the annual reexamination. In the petition, I have section 7, subsection A, numbers 4 and 5. Would you like to amend the petition to show number 6 and
Yes,
carry number 5?
That's correct. Yes, sir, Your Honor. We would
Okay.
like to include number 6.
Okay, so what I'll do is I will cross out number 5, put number 6, and I'll put my initials by that, if that's okay with y'all.
No objection.
Okay. Okay, at this time, the court will rule in favor of the plaintiff and grant the eviction. That will be at 205 East Lincoln, Apartment C. So from here going forward, Ms. Langford, you have 5 days to appeal the decision of the court. On the 6th day, if you have not filed your appeal on that 6th day, the housing authority can come and request what's called a writ of possession. That writ of possession will then go to the constable's office and they will come post a 24-hour notice to vacate. When that 24-hour notice is up, the constable will meet the plaintiff or representatives of the housing authority at this address, and the housing authority can go in and remove anything of value and place it by the curb. Okay, so you can, so by the time, so the 5th day, today is the 17th. So the 5th day is Monday, the 22nd. So you have until 5 p.m. Monday, the 22nd to file your appeal. If you do not file your appeal by the 22nd, then on the 23rd, they can come in and get that writ of possession, okay?
Okay.
The court will also award the property and attorney's fees and court costs as well.
And how much is that?
The attorney's fees is $187.50. The court cost is $171.
You said 171 for the court cost?
Yes, ma'am. I'll add that up for you here. Which is a total of $358.50.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions for the court, Ms. Langford?
I guess one question. How do I appeal? Is that online or over the phone?
No, ma'am, you would have to come into our office and provide that paperwork. We don't have the forms for you, but you can come to our office and we can kind of sort of help you with that. And we can also direct you to the law library, which is on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay. This case is concluded. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for your patience.
No problem, Judge.
We'll get these signed, sealed, and faxed over to you guys. I want to mute y'all and we'll get the next person in. Hold on one second.
Which case are you going to call, Judge? Do you know?
We'll try to get Miss Miles back in.
Great, thanks.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Where do you make that? Come on. Right here.
Yeah, Judge is on mute.
Try Miss Miles again. Miss Miles, can you hear me? Uh-oh, almost. Can you hear me? Is that thumb up, thumb down? You can hear me. Okay. I don't know if we can hear you. There's a little feedback. No. Miss Miles, do you have another? You can answer with a thumb up or a thumb down, but do you have another cell phone close by you? And the reason why I ask that is maybe you can call into the office on your other cell phone. Yes. And you can call me and I can put you on speakerphone. Okay. Okay. Let me give you that number. Are you ready? I figured we could try this. All right. That number is going to be 766-8141. And just let them know that you're Miss Miles and you're calling in for an eviction hearing, and then they'll transfer you back here. Okay. Okay. We'll wait on that phone call. No, not yet.
Uh-oh, battery is running low. Oh, no, there's nothing down. Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Mr. Wilson, I've got Miss Miles on speakerphone here in the office. Okay.
Very good.
Miss Miles, can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Miss Miles, can you state your first name for the record, please, just so I can pronounce that correctly? One more time.
Brittany?
Brittany?
Yes, Brittany Miles.
Okay. All right. Mr. Wilson, I apologize if it may be hard to hear her. I do have the volume turned all the way up. So we'll, if anything, I'll have her. I've got the phone right next to the computer here. So we'll try the best we can.
No problem, Judge.
Okay. We will call case number LT 2021-1683. So Wichita Falls Housing Authority versus Brittany Miles, with the address being 205 East Wichita, apartment F. Is the plaintiff ready to proceed?
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay. Is the defendant, Ms. Miles, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Mr. Wilson, you may proceed.
Can you swear us in, Judge?
Yes, I do apologize. All right. Ms. Wilson, will you raise your, Ms. Miles, I'm sorry. Ms. Miles, will you raise your right hand? I'm going to swear everybody in. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
All right, thank you. Ms. Wilson, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I called Donna Lewis as my first witness. Ma'am, would you tell us your occupation?
I'm occupancy department. I do the move-ins, move-out, interims, annuals, and other programs.
All right. And that means every year, every tenant of the housing authority has to come to your office to provide information so you can determine their eligibility for occupancy. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Are you familiar with the lease of Ms. Miles?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
And that would be a 13-page lease, is that correct?
correct.
And you're the custodian of the records there. You've actually faxed that to me, I believe, on January 12th of 2021. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. I'm going to offer the lease as plaintiff's exhibit number 1, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir.
On page 4 of the lease, we're dealing with a non-compliance with this lease. Page 4 has a section called number 7, reexamination of rent, apartment size, and eligibility for continued occupancy. Do you see that, Ms. Piper? Excuse me, Ms. Lewis.
Yes,
All right. In particular, we're dealing with subsections A4, 5, and 6. Is that correct? Or just 4 and 6?
it's correct, but that's not what she's being evicted for, not her re-exam. Hers
Okay.
is a different situation.
That's what the petition shows. Now, you sent her a series of letters, I believe, back beginning September 1st of 2020. Is that right?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of sending her that letter?
Okay, when she moved in June of 2020, she moved in on a 0 income. So when they move in on a 0 income, their rent's $50. They're told at the move-in that within a month to 2 months, they're going to receive a letter from me. It could be a little bit longer, explaining to me how they're living, how they're paying rent, buying cleaning supplies, personal items, and paying for other things. I hadn't heard anything from her, so I sent her her first letter on September the 1st to come in on September the 17th for an interim reexamination. So hers is not an annual, it's an interim reexam. It's almost the same thing. She
Right.
never responded. So then I
Okay.
sent her, I'm sorry.
That would still trigger the provision of section 7A6.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So when she didn't respond on the 17th of September 2020, what did you do?
I sent out a second letter for her to come in for September the 21st at 1 p.m. Now, all these letters I send states if you don't respond, you'll be evicted. I also put down, do not show, if you do not show for the appointment, next notice will be eviction. She did not show.
All right. And then on September 28th, did you do anything?
Yes, I sent her a third letter trying to get her in. She had till September the 30th to come in and let's go over the interim, how she's living. I put down at the bottom, ignore this notice. I have no choice but to do an eviction. I have not heard anything from her.
All right. So on September the 30th, what did you do?
I had Shimon serve an eviction.
And that would be a letter that was dated September the 30th, 2020, that
Yes.
states the grounds that I just talked about as far as the reason for the eviction.
Correct.
There was also a notice attached to her door. Is that correct?
Yes, we put one in the mail and then we attached one to the door.
And there was a photograph taken.
Yes,
All right. And then on October the 12th, you sent another letter. Is that correct? Or Shimon did. Is that correct?
yes,
Basically telling her that the notice to vacate has expired.
yes. She had, on the eviction, it states that they can require a grievance hearing. And then Shimon sends out 10 days after, letting them know that they did not respond and the grievance is over. We'll proceed
Right.
to court.
There was no response to any of those letters then.
No, I've never heard nothing from her.
Okay. So the housing authority doesn't have the information to determine her eligibility for occupancy because she hasn't given you any information about her income.
Correct,
And that's required under that section of the lease I've recited, correct?
correct.
All right. Judge, those notice letters and that photograph are in plaintiff's exhibit number 2, and I would offer that into evidence.
Okay.
I do not have any other questions of this witness. I pass this witness.
Okay. Ms. Miles, would you like to ask Ms. Lewis any questions?
I was like the statement was going on, so I was like in a very domestic violence situation, so So I would never receive my mail, and you know, I put my mail and stuff, you know, and I'm pretty sure she knows about that, but I was never, you know, we did, we were just able to get arrested and stuff, so I'm no longer dealing with that no more, and,
Okay.
now recently just got hired as a boss.
Okay. You'll have an opportunity to explain any reasonings or any information that you would like the court to know. But in regards to this witness, do you have any direct questions that you would like to ask her?
Me getting this job, you know, having this job now, will that, I'll be able to pay it back or what?
Okay, I don't know if y'all were able to hear her, but her question was she has gained employment and she's wanting to know if she will be able to pay any of this money back.
Like, if I can make this agreement or, a deal, like, you know what I mean?
Judge, it's the Housing Authority's position that she does not have a lease with the Housing Authority at this time.
Okay. All right, so, Ms. Miles, their response is they don't even have a lease agreement with you at this time. So
What is that?
that just means that you haven't filled out the proper paperwork to even have a lease to pay the rent.
Well, I did with the shelter because I was with first step.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had a lease there because I have lease paperwork and everything. I asked you for that.
Okay. Do you have any other questions though, specifically for Ms. Lewis? Okay.
Judge, I have a couple follow-up questions for Ms. Lewis.
Okay.
What is the rent that was being charged for Ms. Miles' unit?
$50.
Okay, and the Housing Authority incurred court costs of $171 to file this case. Is that correct?
Correct.
No other questions of witness. I would call myself as a witness now, Judge.
Okay.
My name's Reginald Wilson. I'm a licensed practicing attorney in the state of Texas. Been licensed since 1981. I'm familiar with the fees charged in this community for representing people in eviction cases at the JP level. I've got a contract with the Housing Authority to represent them in non-compliance evictions for $125 an hour, which I believe is reasonable. By the time the court renders judgment in this case, I'll have 1.5 hours or 1.5 hours. That would calculate out to $187.50. No other statement, Judge. We rest.
Okay. All right, Ms. Miles, is there anything on your behalf that you would like the court to be aware of? I know that you stated earlier that you were in an abusive situation, but now you're out of that.
Yeah, I'm just now getting out like a week ago. You know what I mean? I'm just not. So he was controlling, like I was able to use my mail, all that stuff. So, you know.
Okay. All right, Ms. Miles, have you ever attempted to go down and talk in person to Ms. Lewis or anything?
I tried. I called up there a couple times. She wouldn't answer. I went up there. I got an attitude a lot of times, and she wasn't there. You know. So I've called her, and I've left messages first.
Okay. Mr. Wilson, is your client willing or wanting to participate in the Texas Eviction Diversionary Program with the defendant?
To my knowledge, not at this time, Your Honor.
And I didn't ask that on the last one, and I apologize for that. That is something that we do have to ask. But in regards to that, both parties have to be willing and wanting to do that. So that's why I have to ask that in court. All right. Okay. At this time, the court will rule in favor of the plaintiff, the Housing Authority, in regards to the property located at 205 East Wichita, Apartment F. For possession of that property, the court will also rule in favor of court costs and attorney's fees. And that total is $171 plus $187.50. And that total is, I had it earlier, give me 1 second, $358.50. Ms. Miles, You have 5 days to appeal the decision of the court or move out. On the 6th day, if you fail to do that, the housing authority can come and request what's called a writ of possession. That writ of possession will then go to the constable's office. The constable will then go and post a 24-hour notice to vacate. Once that 24-hour notice has passed, then the constable's office will meet the housing authority at the property, and the housing authority is able to go into the property, remove anything of value, and place it by the curb. Okay?
Okay, so what day can I get to the?
You have until Monday, the 22nd, to move out. Yes, ma'am. Okay? All right, you're welcome. This hearing is concluded. All right. Well, I want to take a quick recess and go check the hallway to see if anybody has come up here. And then we will, because I don't see anybody else in the waiting room. So I'm just going to check the hallway just to make sure, because we do have a terminal set up.
Yes, sir. I'm going to use the restroom right quick, Judge.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Okay. No, it's me. Oh, it's.
Just have me fill these out too.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not showing anybody else in the waiting room at this time, and there's nobody in the hallway either. So we're going to go ahead and proceed. Mr. Wilson, I am showing that there was a possible dismissal on a Rochelle Convery.
That is correct. The housing authority has regained possession of that property.
Okay, would y'all be able to send our office something stating something in writing? That way we can officially close this.
Yes, sir. I will after the hearing.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'll let Angela's in the office with me. So she's making a note that we'll expect that dismissal there. All right, let's call. All right, we'll start at the top then. We'll call case number LT 2021-1677. Wichita Housing Authority versus Ann Lockhart. This property is at 207 East Carolina, apartment C. Doesn't look like the defendant is here. But I'll go ahead and swear everybody in. You'll raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
I do.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wilson, you may proceed.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. There should be a series of PDFs that I submitted to the court. The first one would be a 13-page dwelling lease. The second one, that would be plaintiff's exhibit number 1.
Yes, sir.
The second one is a series of letters giving notice to the defendant. That would be exhibit 2. And then there are 3 separate PDFs that have probably 6 to 10 photographs each PDF. And I'll offer that as plaintiff's exhibit 3, Judge.
Yes, sir. We did receive those pictures as well. Yes, sir. All right, those are admitted. Thank you, sir.
All right, I would call Shimon Smith. Shimon, what is your occupation?
I'm the resident compliance specialist for the Wichita Falls Housing Authority.
All right, and you're familiar with everybody's lease at the Housing Authority, correct?
That's correct, sir.
And I said we had a 13-page lease. You sent that to me prior to this hearing. We're proceeding on section 8A, which is on page 5, I believe, of the lease. And there's several subsections that we're saying that the tenant is non-compliant with. That would be number 4, 9, 10, 12, and 21. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. I'm not sure what our petition says, but you sent a series of letters to Ms. Lockhart prior to this eviction. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that first letter, I guess, dealt with, she had a couple of bad housekeeping reports back in June and, back in June of this year, or excuse me, 2020.
That's correct, sir.
All right. And that notice was sent October 28, 2020. One of them was, and the other one was sent November the 6th of 2020. Is that right?
That's correct.
So you sent a notice of eviction to Ms. Lockhart, as well as a certification of delivery on November the 23rd, 2020, that outlines exactly why she's being evicted. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Essentially, the bad housekeeping was enough for the maintenance staff to say that she's torn up everything inside the apartment, including her heating and air conditioning unit. Is that right?
That's right, sir.
She also painted the walls with paint that wasn't provided by the Housing Authority. All of that is depicted in the photographs that we submitted, correct?
Correct.
There were holes in the wall. She dropped a light bulb in the toilet. Therefore, they had to remove the entire toilet. I think it might have been broken too. Is that right?
That's right.
So she just couldn't comply with the housekeeping. She also had unauthorized guests there. She's also tried to sell the refrigerator in the Housing Authority's unit or give it away. The maintenance staff prevented her from doing that. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
All right. There was a police report about her using somebody else's vehicle, but we don't have any witnesses about that. Is that your understanding?
That is my understanding. We do have a witness about the refrigerator, though.
Yes, and he might be in there, I guess.
He is here.
Okay. So again, she didn't respond to the notice letter on December 23rd, 2020, did she?
No, sir.
So on December 10th, you sent her another letter saying, hey, we're going to go evict you. Is that right?
That's correct, sir.
So after that, the Housing Authority filed an eviction notice or eviction petition with the court. Is that right?
That's right.
What is Ms. Lockhart's rent?
$50, sir.
All right. And did the Housing Authority incur $171 in court costs in filing this suit?
That's correct.
All right, Judge, I'm going to offer those exhibits 1, 2, and 3 and all the photographs.
Okay, they will be admitted. Thank you, sir.
Shimon, can you put our other witness in front of the camera there? I don't know who his name is. Hello, sir. Were you sworn in earlier?
Yeah,
Okay. What is your name?
Jason Woods.
Jason, what do you do for the Housing Authority?
I'm a maintenance mechanic.
All right. Are you familiar with this unit over there where the Miss Lockhart was living at 207C East Caroline?
Yes, I am.
What did you observe about her and the refrigerator that was in the unit?
The day of the occurrence, I didn't actually see the refrigerator leave the property. The person who she gave it to was on the lawn, and I drove up and informed them they needed to move, otherwise she could be charged. And then I left to go deal with my daily business. Later, when I had gone to lunch, that gentleman had approached me at the store I went to and said, "Hey, I don't think I'm supposed to have this refrigerator. I don't want to get in any trouble." I asked him if it looked a certain kind of way and if it had our marking on it. He said yes, and I informed him to follow me and we could unload the equipment at our shop.
All right. So that one is the refrigerator that came out of Ms. Lockhart's unit.
Yes,
And I guess you replaced or put it back in there after you got it back.
yes. After she made a request to have a refrigerator put in, we reinstalled that.
Very good. Did you observe all those damages to the unit?
Most of them, yes.
Pretty much the air conditioning is beyond repair at this point. It has to totally be replaced. Is that your understanding?
I'm pretty sure it is. I haven't talked to the contractor about it.
All right. You saw all the paint splashed everywhere, putty and holes in the wall and things like that.
Yes.
Did you see the broken toilet?
I was not aware of the broken toilet. Not with the light bulb situation. I went over because we're required to have two maintenance staff go into that unit. She complained about, she sent in a complaint about the toilet not working, and when we went in, parts of the valve system were removed out of the toilet.
All right. That caused you all to replace that toilet. Is that right?
Yes. Now there may have been another issue earlier with a light bulb. Like I said, right now it's news to me.
All right. Is that about all you know about this unit? No other questions of the witness, Judge.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I would just call myself asking for $187.50 in attorney's fees, Judge.
Yes, sir. That's perfectly fine. Thank you, sir. Anything else, Mr. Wilson?
No, sir, Your Honor. We rest.
Okay. All right. The court will render a judgment granting plaintiff full possession of the property, along with court costs and attorney's fees. And that will conclude this hearing. All right. Oh, was there somebody out there?
Miss Williams showed up and she doesn't know what to do.
No, I didn't write any notes. The
Okay.
attorney's fees is the same,
So
$187.50 and $171 for court costs. Okay, so was it one of our defendants?
No.
Okay, all right. Okay, we thought we had somebody show up and it was for another day. They came here on the wrong day, one of our plaintiffs.
No problem.
Okay, we'll call case number LT 2021-1679. Wichita Falls Housing Authority versus Matthew Robertson. This is an eviction hearing for a property located at 207A Caroline, Apartment A, Wichita Falls, Texas, 76306. Is the plaintiff ready to proceed?
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay. I am not showing a defendant in the waiting room or here at our office. We'll go ahead and get everybody sworn in. If you'll please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, Mr. Wilson, you may proceed.
Your Honor, before I call my witness, the sworn complaint for eviction only lists subsection 7A4 and 5. We want to add by trial amendment A6, Your Honor, on that section.
Number 6 as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll put my initials by that. Thank you.
Donna, we're talking about Matthew Robertson. Are you on the same page as us?
Yes, sir.
I'm talking to witness.
Ms. Lewis, I apologize.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. So this is another one of failure to recertify, correct?
Correct.
You're familiar with the lease. It's a 13-page lease. I'll offer that as plaintiff's exhibit number 1. There's a series of notice letters that you sent dating back to, I believe, October of 2020. Is that correct, or is there a previous letter there?
The first recertification letter was sent out September the 14th. To come in October the 13th.
For him to come in. All right. So did he come in on the 13th?
No,
What did you do after that?
I sent him another letter to come in for October the 16th.
Did he come in and see you then?
He did come in, but at that time I told him I'm going to have to reschedule due to several reasons. One had to do with community service, the amount of rent he owed, and he was failing to respond to Shamon's letters about unauthorized. So I told him, I said, let me talk to my executive director. If she tells me to go ahead and do your research, you'll get another letter, come to that appointment. And so I set him up. I talked to Donna Piper. She said, go ahead and bring him in, find out what's going on, do your recertification. So I sent him a letter November the 13th to come in for November the 16th, and I never heard from him.
All right. And November the 17th, you and Shamon prepared the eviction letter as well as the certification of delivery, which was attached to his door, I guess.
Correct.
All right. And I guess you haven't heard from him since, have you?
No, I've not heard anything from him.
All right. So what is the rent that Mr. Robertson pays? Is it 207?
207.
Okay. Housing Authority incurred $171 in court costs in filing this case. Is that correct?
Correct.
No other questions of the witness, Judge.
Okay. Thank you.
I would
sir.
just justify for $187.50 in attorney's fees. We rest and close seeking possession, court costs, and attorney's fees.
Okay. At this time, the court will rule in favor of the plaintiff, granted possession of the property along with court cost and attorney's fees. That will conclude this hearing. Robinson. All right, the court will now call case number LT 2021-1680. So Wichita Falls Housing Authority versus Tevin Smith. This property is located at 112 Offutt, Apartment D, Wichita Falls, Texas, 76301. Is the plaintiff ready to proceed?
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay, is the defendant ready to proceed? That being no answer, I am not showing anybody in our waiting room, and there is nobody in the hallway of our office. So we are ready to proceed. If you'll raise your right hand, we'll get everybody sworn in. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, Mr. Wilson, you may proceed.
Okay, Donna, this is another one of those failure to come in and recertify cases. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
You sent me a lease back in January. It's 13 pages. We're proceeding under the same provisions under subsection 7A, 4, 5, and 6. I believe you sent your first letter to Mr. Smith on October 19th, 2020. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
For him to come in and do his annual recertification. Did you receive a response?
No.
You followed up with another letter on November 5th, telling him to come in on November 10th. Is that correct?
Correct.
He didn't show up. So thereafter, on the next day, November 10th, you sent an eviction, you and Shimon prepared and sent an eviction letter to him that states the grounds that I just recited for eviction. Is that correct?
Yes.
He wasn't home, so that eviction notice was taped to the door as well as sent to him by first-class mail. Is that correct?
Correct.
Then on the 23rd of November, another notice letter was sent to him saying we're going forward to file the eviction. Is that correct?
Correct.
No other questions. This witness, Your Honor, I would just testify. His rent is, how much is his rent? $50?
$62.
$62, and the housing authority incurred $171 in court costs. I'm seeking another $187.50 in attorney's fees, Judge. We rest and close.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wilson. At this time, the court will rule in favor of the plaintiff in regards to possession of the property, along with court costs and attorney's fees. Okay, I believe I have the last case here. LT 2021-1682, Wichita Falls Housing Authority versus Christina Bender. That property is located at this is an eviction hearing with the property located at 201 Bailey, apartment F, Wichita Falls, Texas, 76301. Is the plaintiff ready to proceed?
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay, is the defendant ready to proceed? Okay, with no answer and not showing anybody in the waiting room, and there's nobody in the hallway or the courtroom of this office. The defendant is not here in appearance. Let me get everybody sworn in. Swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, you may proceed.
All right, Donna, this is the same situation. Failure to come in and do their annual recertification under subsection 7 or 7A6. Is that right?
Correct.
So there's a 13-page lease. We'll offer that as plaintiff's exhibit number 1. There's a series of notice letters that you sent to Ms. Bender, I believe beginning on October 19th, 2020, for her to show up for a meeting on November 2nd. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did she show up?
No.
All right, on November 2nd, you sent another notice letter for an appointment on November 6th. Did she show up then?
No.
All right, so on November the 7th, did you send her an eviction letter?
Yes.
You and Shimon, I mean,
Yes.
explaining to her that she's being evicted due to her failure to comply with the lease by attending the annual recertification.
Correct.
All right, and I guess her rent is $50 a month, is that right?
Yes.
And the housing authority incurred $171 in court costs in filing the case. Correct?
Correct. Sorry.
Judge, I'm seeking $187.50 in attorney's fees. We rest and close.
All right, thank you. At this time, the court will rule in favor of the plaintiff, granting judgment to possession of the property along with court costs and attorney's fees. And that will conclude this hearing. We'll get these judgments signed, typed up, and mailed and faxed over to you guys just as quickly as possible. In regards to these properties, are they still living there and y'all just haven't heard or seen them, or?
I don't know, Judge. I'll let Shimon answer that question.
Okay, I was just curious.
All of them, even the ones who don't have leases, they're still residing.
Okay,
We can't hear you, Shimon.
I'm sorry.
it's okay.
They are still living there, even the ones who no longer have leases.
Okay.
Residing in those apartments.
Okay, well, at this time, they have until the 22nd, which is that Monday at 5 p.m. to file their appeal or move out. So on Tuesday, the 23rd, y'all just call up here and we'll let y'all know if anybody's done so. It sounds like the one individual may. I think the very first one that we heard. But On these others, it sounds like you'll be able to get your writ of possession.
Okay, Judge.
Okay?
Judge, tell Angela I'll try to send her via email a dismissal of that other case.
Thank you,
right.
Reggie.
She says, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
You bet. Y'all have a good day. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.